Cejudo versus Song recap and reaction. As you can see here, down to the bottom right, I had 9 out of 12 winners, 4 perfect predictions. In the main event, Song Yadong won on the scorecards after a double eye poke, Chris Weidman style. He was on his way to victory before then, seemingly, so it was unfortunate that it ended this way. And it was also strange the way the ref stopped the fight because he allowed it to go into the fourth round where he immediately stopped it so that the refs could go to the scorecards instead of stopping it after the foul, which would have been like a technical stoppage, I believe, giving Henry Cejudo the win. So that was extremely sketchy. Then we had Anthony Fluffy Hernandez winning. There was lots of grappling and ground control, exactly what we expected. And although Brendan Allen did have success on the feet, for some reason he did not have the fight IQ to keep it on the feet when he had his moments, to keep his distance and try and land some strikes. And also, it was kind of funny to see him act so surprised in the end when he lost the decision. It's got to be delusional to think he won that. And then Rob Font wins a split decision, and it seemed to come down to damage. And he also threw a dirty, quick 1-2 at the start of the fight, immediately after the glove touch. And I feel like that beginning strike really threw off Matsumoto because it did rock him. It had him momentarily wobbled. So he had to worry about surviving instead of whatever his initial game plan was. That was not what he was expecting at all, nor that's not what the fans were expecting at all. You don't really see those kind of dirty moves too often. But despite that, it was a good competitive match and it was a good fight. Next, this was my perfect prediction. I had Gene Silva winning in round one by KO. And one thing to mention is if you're an opponent of Silva, can you please stop dapping him up in the middle of the fight? It's clearly a tactic used to put your guard down, to bring your defensive alertness down. The Armenian was doing great until he fell into that trap. And he's been doing it in every fight, and I can just see it clear as day that it's a strategic move. I'll make another video covering this with more detail. And then we had Alonzo Menfield winning by decision. This could have gone either way. It was very close. They both had good strikes and good power, but they both did seem slow on the feet, but equally slow. And also, I don't recall Alonzo being as slow as he was. He didn't seem as explosive as I'm used to seeing him. And then we have Ibo Aslan, who clearly, obviously lost by submission. And just in general, he seemed lost on the ground. It was just bad on the ground. He had good power, and it could have been him who got the KO on the feet. But Cutelaba seems to have grown some brains, and now he's deciding to mix it up a little to secure victories. Good for him. And we'll have to keep that in mind in the future. And then we had Andre Philly looking silly. For a nickname Touchy Feely, he barely touched his opponent. He was more interested in showmanship and taunting his opponent. There was good strikes from Milky, and obviously a nice submission. Seemed like he found the guillotine even where it looked like he wasn't even in a position to get it. It was very impressive. And then we had next, uh, great fight. It was Nick Klein almost pulling off the upset with a spinning elbow. Who saw that coming? And Abdul showed great composure to recover and come back to win. He obviously has lots of power in his punches and in general, but he moves slow, like he's stalking his opponent, plotting to throw power, and this allowed Nick Klein to have success early in the fight. So perhaps we'll see Abdul adjust this and come out a little stronger in the future. And Javid Bashra got KO'd. Crazy. I think he did not respect his opponent, Ricky Simone, and he got too cocky, which took away his defensive sharpness. It looked like he was winning the fight until he wasn't. If that doesn't make sense to you, I guess, well, just think about it a little bit. He was winning on the feet, outlanding him, out had the better footwork, was managing his range. But it just seemed like he got cocky and a little lazy with his guard, and obviously got KO'd. And then Austin Vanderford won by KO. Wasn't really a Technically it was, but Nicolay, he just gave up. He couldn't get out of the position he was in. And then he threw a temper tantrum right after. This Vanderford, for some reason, has amazing cardio. I wonder why. And I was right about this, and I felt like he had the upper hand because of his experience. Although that doesn't always matter in every fight, because we see people come in from random organizations and still win. But in this case, I was correct. And Nursultan Ruzaboyev wins by KO in round two. This seemed like a pretty simple and easy victory for him. He has good aggression and finishing instinct. And I didn't see much from Eric Koniko. I did not see much from him that impressed me. And last, the opening fight, Modestus Bukakis KO'd his opponent. He landed a nice hook and then crashed in with a flurry of punches. I liked the way he closed the range once he saw he was in range, wasn't afraid to get in the pocket and land his power. Once he found his opening, he was just throwing as hard as he could. And his opponent, Rafael, did land a couple shots that were quick, like a quick 1-2, but it wasn't enough, and he didn't have much to offer other than that. So this is the recap and reaction for this event, and I will see you later.